Welcome back to the Webby O'Neill channel. Thanks for joining us for another video. Today's video is all about transfer news. Manchester United linked to Choupo-Moting, Thomas Muller and Timo Werner, plus Sir Jim Ratcliffe. He's in town doing a bit of meet and greet with the Manchester United staff. Get involved as ever, Reds, in the chat, and I will try and discuss some of your comments throughout today's video. But first of all, the news on Sergio Reguilon. And David Ornstein done a tweet only about an hour or two ago saying Sergio Reguilon is returning back to Tottenham from Manchester United. The season-long loan included a break clause for the left-back to return in January, and Man United have activated that option. Is that a surprise to you?
No, not a surprise. Not to me, and I don't think it'll be a surprise to anyone out there who's brought in, fill a hole. Yeah, did all right. Didn't shake anyone up. Lots of games, what was being played, he was needed to fill that hole. Now, we've not got lots of games going forward.
Yeah.
So, at the end of the day, going back to Spurs, no surprise to anyone, really, I don't think.
No surprise there.
No surprise at all.
Don't seem too bothered
but
about that one.
the right thing to do, send him back. You know, Luke Shaw, Malacia, they'll be back. Delo there, been playing left back anyway.
I'm sure Man United would have been picking up his wages as well, or at least part of his wages. So hopefully that's in mind as well, to free up some wages to sort of bring someone in, whether that's a centre forward in this window.
I'm sure wages are always in Man United's mind. But it's the right thing to do. There's no need having him round for the next 4 or 5 months or so. So back to Spurs, where he came from, and at the end of the day, what will he do when he gets back there? His fourth choice there, I think.
Yeah,
so,
probably go out back on loan again, won't he?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, hopefully Luke Shaw can come back. I've not seen any latest news on Luke Shaw as well, so hopefully he can return soon. Malacia, it looks like he'll get a return as well this month with the likes of Casemiro, etc. But also Ben Jacobs mentioned earlier, and other reports as well this morning, that Sir Jim Ratcliffe is in Manchester today. The meetings, a bit of a meet and greet with the Manchester United staff. The aim is also to make introductions across all departments, including Erik ten Hag, and learn more about the club's operations. Ineos still plan to make the majority of key decisions after the completion and a strategic review.
Yeah, if you look at what's going on there, Brailsford was in there last week. Before that, I think, he will have looked at a lot of things, passed it on to Sir Jim Ratcliffe. He's in there letting people know he's here. These are his plans. Talking to Erik ten Hag, that's the big one. That is the big one. Erik ten Hag said he hadn't spoken to him, but they wanted to work with him. Well, we're soon going to find out. I think all day he's in there. Even tonight, he'll be talking to Erik ten Hag about going forward. So there's big news about to come out about what's going on, meeting all staff in all departments, and I think it will be known to a lot of people exactly what's going on. And you know, I've said big sackings in all departments have to come, and I think that word will be going round over the next few days, the next week or two. A lot of people in there have had a free ride, looked after themselves, and Jim Ratcliffe is going to have none of it, and quite rightly so. Brailsford, all of them, top professionals. That's what they want in there. That's who they think they're going to be bringing in. So they've got to act, and act now like top professionals. If it works, great. If it doesn't, you know, here we go again.
Obviously, it's still yet to be rubber stamped, like it said in the tweet before, about it being completed, his deal. So do you expect, like, this period of, let's say, the next 6 weeks or so, him to look around, seeing what people do, what they don't do, who's needed and who isn't needed, and that decision will be made on a lot of jobs then when it's rubber stamped from the Premier League, and he'd be like, look, come in here, you're fired, look, you're next, get in here, you're gone.
Yeah, I think over the next few weeks, we'll see conversations, what'll come out, what's been said, and I think what you have to look at as well, the reality of exactly where we are. And Jim Ratcliffe, after tonight, he could be looking at the football side of it, because that's what has been brought in, and looking at it and saying, do you know what, we're 8th. Because if the result goes for Brighton and Brighton win, we are 8th. And that's the reality of what Jim Ratcliffe is actually staring at, and we're staring at. I would never have thought at this stage of the season, after last year, we would have been looking at 8th, and I don't think Sir Jim Ratcliffe will have thought that neither. But that is the reality where we are at the moment. And to be honest with you, and I think he'll be looking at it from the football side, and I think all people will, even ten Hag, the players, because We've got one league game in January, and that's against Tottenham. And the fact is, if we lose that game, it will hit home hard to you, to me, and to you, Kieran, and especially to Sir Jim Ratcliffe, that if we lose that Spurs game, we could actually be 10th or even 11th. That is the reality Sir Jim Ratcliffe is staring at today while he's walking round talking to people. And there is big, big work and a big job in hand.
Yeah, just diving into the chat. Cheers for your chat, mate. Timekeeper says 1 year extension for Lindelof. Apparently, I've seen the same reports as you, mate.
Yeah.
Who is authorising these deals? Ineos aren't even through the door yet. And I've read the reports, so I'm sure like a lot of yous out there, that anything to do with transfers, new contracts, it does still have to be run by Ineos, whether that can be agreed or not.
Yeah, well, people say that, but then you run by Ineos and who's doing these deals? Well, the Donny van de Beek deal was done. You know, he's officially gone now to Eintracht Frankfurt. Looks like we're paying most of his wages by the looks of it. No surprise there, is there, to anybody? You know, that is one of the problems we've got with players. Wages, can't move them on. And if you look at Donny van de Beek, what you have to turn around and say is 12 months ago, maybe more than 12 months ago, Donny van de Beek was looking for another football club and Manchester United wanted to keep him. And keep him for what? Because they never done anything with him. I always said he wasn't strong enough, wasn't good enough. He was given plenty of opportunities. He was promised the football, and that was taken away from him. So they could have got a fee for him 12, 18 months ago, and look at it now. But the people in charge of United have done the deal, and it was on the cards for a while because that conversation was there, and that had nothing to do with Brailsford, Sir Jim Ratcliffe or Ineos. That was a deal being done. So it looks like Murto is pushing these things.
Yeah, just going back into the chat again. 20 Legends says Erik ten Hag is a long-term manager. There is no manager I'd rather have at Manchester United. No manager is doing better under the current circumstances. Back ten Hag. Obviously, let me know your thoughts and opinions, everyone else out there in the chat on that comment. But what's yours?
Well, you say the circumstances are unique to every one of us. The manager, everybody. No one could have foreseen what was coming, how it was going to pan out. Absolutely a bad hand has been dealt with here. And I go over it again with Ronaldo, Sancho, loads of things. 12 months, 14 months of the club supposedly being sold. Players down in tools, players not caring. And Ten Hag has had to manage this himself. What do? You can't sack the manager, in my opinion, based on what's gone around. Sir Jim Ratcliffe will look at it for 6 months, work it out and see if it is the right manager to go forward. You expect big changes, and normally what happens when somebody comes in like Sir Jim Ratcliffe into a football club, and a football club what is in disarray, there is big changes, and managers are usually the first one in line to get the chop because they have someone in mind. But at the end of the day, Ten Hag, there's a few things there. He's not
helped himself.
No, well, I'm just saying he's not helped himself, but he has had a bad hand, and he has to be given time to turn it round. But the thing is, I don't believe someone coming in with this club in the state it's in, will give people time. And these players, if you look at them against Nottingham Forest, they started that game, especially that first half, as though they were there for a draw. They didn't want to work for the manager. That's how it seemed to me. So he might already know and have an idea of what he's going to do. But hopefully we'll find out in the near future.
So do you think any of these rumoured signings on his shortlist this month of Timo Werner, Choupo-Moting, Thomas Muller, you wouldn't expect them to be his first choice targets, would you?
No, they're not first choice targets. They're just loan targets. I think that's all United can bring in at the moment. I think that's all they want to do. Who's really... Manchester United going out there spending millions and millions on a player when... nobody knows what the future is going to bring. There's no structure. There's no one in place, in charge. There's no one who's in... It's in disarray. And really would you want to come to Old Trafford at this moment, knowing that the manager you signed for might not be there in 3 or 4 weeks, in 6 weeks, in 6 months? So at the end of the day, it's only loan players, and the loan players they're talking about, at the end of the day, 12 months ago, we needed 2 strikers, and here we are talking about loan strikers. Again, the reality is the people in charge have messed up. Timo Werner.
Well, he sounds like the one out of the 3 where it sounds more likely Manchester United are pushing, because in the report from Laurie Whitwell and Dan Sheldon in The Athletic, they said that United have actually made contact with Leipzig over a potential cost of Timo Werner. So that looks like the one who's at the front and the main target, to be honest.
What is he? Second rate?
How the mighty have fallen.
Well, the thing is, we are where we are.
Yeah.
We're looking at someone who's second rate. And, you look at what he did at Chelsea, so poor. Did nothing for them, in my opinion, and it'll do nothing for Man United. He's just a poor finisher. We need a man in the box. We need a top-class striker, but we haven't got that. We haven't got the money. We haven't got the people with any idea to bring in a top striker. And if we're going to end up, again...
It's not as though we do really well in the transfer market in Germany either. Is it really? Even overlooking on previous seasons?
No.
We've not done great, have we?
No, we haven't done great. We haven't done well at all. And if you look at the other conversation, what's going on, Thomas Muller, I mean, no disrespect to him, absolutely great player, right, at the top of his game.
In his day.
But his day has gone, and it was gone a long time ago. So to bring somebody in like that, it's the same old thing. January transfers again. The big disappointment. And we all seen this coming. We all seen it coming. And I've said we've no money for strikers. We've no money. And we never got them in the summer. So why anyone even thought that we'd go out there and buy a striker in January, right, when this club is in carnage, is beyond me, because the money wasn't there to get him in the summer when we needed him. We're just relying on Højlund now. Martial, where will he go? He'll just stick around because he'll keep the wages, because no one's going to take him on and give him them wages. I can't see that.
All of us thinking we wanted Harry Kane in the summer. He goes to Bayern Munich to replace Thomas Muller.
Yeah.
And now we're looking at getting Thomas Muller, who's more than often than not the backup to Harry Kane.
I think Thomas Muller was already pushed to a bit part scenario in Bayern Munich there. But at the end of the day, Thomas Muller, he'll do a job. Listen, he'll do a job. But at the end of the day, it's not what United want. And like I say, I go back to who is going to sign for Man United. We haven't got the money. But who would want to come knowing the disarray, what's in this club? Sir Jim Ratcliffe has got in Manchester today. Brailsford's in there, right? And they know it's carnage, okay? And there's more carnage to come. Like I say, we can be 8th tonight, and I never thought that. I never thought that after last year, and most of you out there wouldn't have thought that neither.
Yeah, Jake Hole in the chat. He seems to be a bit of a champion for Donny van der Beek, as though he wasn't given enough time, not given enough opportunities at Manchester United. And just let me know why you actually think Donny van der Beek deserves more game time, more opportunities at Manchester United to prove himself. Me personally, I think he was given plenty of opportunities. Yeah, not a lot of the starts in the 62 appearances for Manchester United were starts. Some of them were cameo roles, but you also got to remember he was given starts as well. I remember a 3, 4, 5 game run, and even every time he come off the bench, did he really prove it where he then deserved to start? For me, no. And Donny van der Beek in the midfield isn't going to get you near the top.
I actually think
he's not going to get in any of the midfields in the top 6, top 7, or he'd be at one of them clubs now, not Frankfurt.
Me being a cynic I am, right, I believe that's a wind-up.
I do. Right? I don't even think he's a United fan.
I don't even think he's a United fan, because at the end of the day, Donny van der Beek has been given every opportunity, right? And every United fan, honest United fan, will say he's too weak.
Yeah.
He's not good enough. He's not, his physicality, his running hasn't been good enough. And the games he's played, we've all seen it, weak. We'll have to block him.
No, we don't do that.
Don't we?
No, we don't do that. I don't even do that to Liverpool fans. So I'm not going to do that to someone who's pretending to be a United fan. But
okay.
Yeah, sticking on to like the transfers and the January ones, who would you rather have out the 3? Werner, Muller or Choupo-Moting? There's another lad who's been mentioned there. Is it Girassi from Stuttgart? I don't know nothing about him. I've only just heard about him about 2 weeks ago. But apparently he's got a 15.2 million release clause in his contract.
No.
I think he scored roughly about 17 goals or something, has he?
No, listen, that's money. United, I can't see United spend that money. Listen.
But if Manchester City is one for you,
Muller.
Look, long term, is Mason Greenwood going to be here at Manchester United? There's been a lot of talk around him. Ooh. You know, fees in Spain with Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, etc. Would you try push getting a fee in the January transfer window to give Erik ten Hag a centre forward who's decent, who is going to stick the ball in the back of the net? I'm
glad it's not down to me to push to get Greenwood back. I know what he's trying to do, right? But I don't envy Sir Jim Ratcliffe decision on this, and I think that decision will be made this month on whether to bring him back or sell him. So as far as I'm concerned, Sir Jim Ratcliffe should make the decision this month. Ineos are in charge of all football, everything to do with football, so that decision has to be done. But I think how can I say, I think what you're looking for, and quite rightly, you're looking, for my opinion, on bringing or what should be done with Greenwood. And I think, to be honest with you, I think if this Ineos are professional enough and good enough and take us in the right direction, then the right direction is not with Mason Greenwood, because it will bring too much noise to the football club. And all we have is noise around the football club all the time. We don't need more negativity. He's been playing over there in Spain, looking fit, a lot of people giving out, this team's interested in him and this team's interested in him. Well, let's see the hard cash. Where's the bids?
What are you looking for a bid, though, for Mason Greenwood?
I don't know.
I can't take anything less than 50 million, surely.
Yeah,
if he continues the form that he is with what we're seeing over there now for Getafe, and he even improves there on the second half of the season.
I think what might happen with Mason Greenwood, to be honest with you, is if an offer comes in for him, it'll be a low ball offer with a clause in it. After so many games, I think that's what will happen, just to move him along, get him off the books maybe. That's if Sir Jim Ratcliffe has to go that route, and I wouldn't like to be in making that decision. But around Manchester United, the noise will just get bigger and bigger, and if somebody like Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos are trying to turn this football club round, then the less noise, the better.
You wanted to talk about Raphael Varane earlier on. Is anything to...
Raphael Varane, well, apparently, stories there. It's going in the summer. Not happy. Being offered reduced wages. Sounds similar to goalkeeper De Gea. He wasn't happy with reduced wages, so that scenario's going. He's out of contract, so he's a free agent in 6 months. The thing is, I think this all went wrong in September when he had a minor injury, and then he couldn't get back in the team. Players like Lindelof, Johnny Evans, Maguire were playing in front of him when he was fit. Last 3 games, he started now 90 minutes in the 3 games, only because Maguire's not there, Lindelof's not there. So I think there's been a big falling out, but I think when people attribute it to him falling out with the manager, I don't really see that. I think it's the discussions down on the contract, renewing it and not being offered the proper money, what he thinks is entitled to. And these players, the way they are, they're never going to be happy with reduced wages, and I don't think anyone is really. So he's looking at other options. And so I think the fallout has got nothing really. I don't think it was started with the manager. I think it's contract talks, and the stories what are coming out, I think, prove that.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank everyone for joining us today in the chat. It's been popping off in there. If you'd like to continue the chat, get involved in the comments below. We'll interact with you there, and hopefully we can bring you some good news this month where we can just get a decent striker in. These 3 we've mentioned here today, it is depressing. It does want... Well, I was going to say something, but I better not on a live stream. But, it is depressing.
It is depressing, but the thing is, there's always optimism, and I've got optimism going forward. Let's hope that he can make the changes. Let's hope he makes the right decisions. Whatever decisions he makes, you know, that's what it'll be. So
yeah, for me, you should just stick Joe Hugill in, give him a chance. Give some of the younger ones a chance this season, like your Kobe Mainu, Willie Kwambala, Hannibal, and Gore. So for me, Hugill should be given that opportunity instead of going for the likes of Timo Werner, you know, Choupo-Moting, Muller, who are over the hill and we're not going to do it here. And let's see what Hugill can do.
Yeah, well,
give him the opportunity.
Problem with Hugill, the conversation, the stories are out there that they're looking at sending him out on loan. So there's the problem with that. But then again, doesn't surprise me, does it?
Okay, I'm going to get off the subject because it's going to wind me up.
Okay.
I'd just like to thank everyone for joining us today. Hopefully we can give some more positive news today. Hopefully something comes out about Sir Jim Ratcliffe, something going forward Manchester United, because we do need that positivity.
Yeah.
So thanks for joining us, everyone, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you.
See you.